Okay. I guess is it my turn? I think it's my turn.
I think it is.
And we're on 46.
Look at you.
See?
Keeping up with the numbers. Oh my god.
I'm a professional podcaster now. Yay. We still need Eva though, because we have to ask Eva every time what number we're on. Me and Bunny, Bunny and I were lost without Eva. We're lost every time we don't have you, Eva. I'm letting you know now. We are lost.
Really?
Yes.
Your role is very important here.
Yes. Okay.
It's just because I spend like 3 hours looking at the thing we just recorded, so I know exactly what we're up to.
I know that.
That last one though took a little while. Oh my god, because it was a 2-hour premiere.
Yeah,
so it was a 2-hour thing. So I was there for like a good 4 hours almost. Like I was like, yeah, this is great.
Well,
I'm having fun still. Woo!
This one's gonna be a long one too. It's 1 hour and 11 minutes long.
No, okay, yeah, that's all right. I'm down. Let's do it.
So
yeah.
So okay, so I'll do the intro. All right, here we go.
All right.
Blah, 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 blah. Everybody, and welcome back to the broadcast. And today we have episode number 46. 46, right? We're in 46?
Yeah.
Okay, episode 46. All right, I just got Eva's here, so she's keeping us in line. And today I am with Miss Eva.
Hello.
And the crazy Miss Bunny.
I am completely sane.
Okay, girl. And of course, I'm Xylie. What's up? And how are y'all doing? We just got past our Mama Max week. Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm Mama maxed out right now.
Oh my God. I am too. I am too. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know how Chud Logic did it. I really don't know how Chud Logic did it. He's been covering it for weeks. Looking at every single little thing you can look at. I covered it enough on my channel where I'm just completely burnt out. And I'm like, oh my God.
Look, you guys just went down the rabbit hole. And that's all you can do. Like, you just keep finding one thing after another. And you're, well, what does this mean? Or what does this mean? And you just keep digging. And that's where it gets you. Another 20 hours later, and you're like, oh, I think I'm spent.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I'm not tired of it. Am I the weird one? Because I am not tired of it. I feel like something new happens every day, and I'm like, this is a soap opera.
Oh, every day, every single day, there's something coming out. Oh my God. Somebody sent me a file with a bunch of stuff in it, and I'm like, oh my God, that's a lot to look at. I'm going to be here forever looking at this. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. Something is either always leaking out, or not leaking out, or somebody finds old social media, or, Max will say something on his damn IG, or just, it's always something. It's always something.
Oh, he's doing Instagram messages now. Like, what's going on there?
I don't know.
Saying stuff on his socials.
Yeah, he said something on there talking about they're not going to say something until something happens or something. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't have it in front of me to talk about. So
yeah, fair enough.
So we're taking a break from Mama Max is the point. Okay. Swoop came out with a video called The Depraved Mind of Ruby Franke 8-Passenger Final Downfall. Okay.
Yes.
So we saw this. I haven't seen it yet. Have you watched it?
Nope.
Okay. All right. So none of us have seen it yet. So this is going to be a blind reaction. And pretty much that's what this episode is going to be about. Because we love us some Swoop. So might as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So, are we ready to get started?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Let's do it.
All right. Let's do it.
Good morning. Welcome to District Court. We're here in the matter of State of Utah versus Franke. Ms. Franke, is anyone pressuring you to enter into this agreement?
No.
You need to just accept the fact that your YouTube channel is big. If I allowed myself, I could really, just turn myself into a completely different person than who I am.
People who live in distortion are inherently not safe. and yet all of us inherently want to feel safe.
Most of it seemed to showcase how she decided to punish her children in ways that were became increasingly alarming and very questionable.
You are not protecting them. You are introducing them to the world.
I'm only going to say it one more time, and then you're going to lose the privilege to eat dinner. Anger is just simply a tool, just like any other emotion.
It kills me every time. It kills me every time I hear that. Yes, and eating dinner is a privilege. Yes.
Yeah, in which world?
Yeah,
Like,
it kills me every time I hear that one.
And it's all manipulation.
It will never be the truth that I am justified in harming another person, physiologically harming someone. That will never be the truth.
This morning, Ruby Franke pleaded guilty to 4 counts. She will remain incarcerated awaiting sentencing.
With my deepest regret and sorrow for my family and my children, guilty.
It's not often enough that I get to speak to you about the downfall of a public figure leading to any kind of actual definable justice. But for once, I get to say the words, somebody did something awful, and that somebody is going to prison. But of all the stories that I've covered in the
Amen.
yeah.
Amen. How many times do we talk about these kind of stories and nobody gets any kind of repercussions from it? Not like real life repercussions, you know, not just losing followers or anything like that. It's real life repercussions. We barely see that.
Yep. This is like the justice for those kids has finally been put into play, and I'm here for it.
I mean, albeit I don't think it's enough justice. I really don't.
No. Yeah.
But
only 4 out of the 6 counts. Come on, but you know.
However, it's still something. At this point, something's better than nothing. So
yeah,
absolutely.
Last year, who is it? Is it the woman with the pyramid-shaped head who cosplayed as a progressive champion of the people before being exposed, allegedly, as an abuse control freak and a plagiarist? Or is it the man who hurt his own family, filmed it, uploaded it while trying to justify his content by claiming it was all just a prank, bro? Just a prank, bro! Maybe it was the woman who allegedly stole
that dude. That dude. Oh my God.
I don't know anything about that dude.
Oh God, I forgot what that family name was. But I remember them having a son with glasses, and that poor kid they picked on that kid. So it was literally abusive how bad they picked on that kid.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad.
Stole thousands of dollars in a fitness grift that directly contributed to multiple women developing EDs before transitioning into a much more transparent religious influencer grift. Maybe it's the multinational corporation with a shadowy founder who has dabbled in racist anti-Semitic merchandise, allegedly exploitative working conditions, and literal theft from artists. Surely, if we're talking about the complete downfall of somebody, it would be one of them, right? Unfortunately, for too often, a measured downfall is more about perception and less about action. Yep. Illuminati has lost 400,000 subscribers and counting, and is allegedly in the middle of lawsuits, but she will likely never see the inside of a jail cell or be taken off the platform ever. Daddy05 was taken off of YouTube.
Daddy
but he's
05,
back because
whoa, he's back?
What?
Wait a minute.
Platform ever. Daddy05 was taken off of YouTube, but he's back.
The Martin family.
Oh.
I didn't know that. Oh.
He said just rebrand and nobody will notice.
I didn't know that okay. All right. Put a pin in it. Put a pin in it.
Mm-hmm.
Because, of course he is. Sheehan's gonna Sheehan, and today Sheehan is still worth around $90 billion. Brittany Dawn settled the lawsuit with the state of Texas for $400,000, becoming one of the only figures we've covered who's experienced actual lasting repercussions for their actions, but she never went to jail, and she's still online, and she still sucks, allegedly. But the pattern of non-accountability, or quasi-accountability, finally comes to an end with none other than Ruby Franke.
Yes!
The momfluencer and the head of the notorious 8 Passengers YouTube channel, who has been accused for years of harming her children in increasingly disturbing ways alongside her husband, Kevin. On December 18th, 2023.
Okay, I need something to happen to him.
Oh yeah, Kevin needs to be brought to justice too. Like, that dude's been so intertwined with everything that she's done, like even before.
Well, apparently he's suing her, or he's suing somebody, talking about how his kids were treated bad, and I'm like, excuse me, sir, what? Where were you? You could have stopped it.
Wasn't he also trying to like sue Ruby or one of the eldest children like for like robbery or something like that because they had like his computer and a bunch of devices and stuff like that?
I don't know about that one. Yeah.
Like he's gone all like trigger happy with the lawyer stuff. Like it's just like it's as if that isn't like guilty.
You know what? Come on, dude. He needs to feel lucky that they didn't go deep into what they did because then he would be implicated.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He needs to feel real lucky. Oh God, he's so he disgusts me.
Ruby Franke stepped into a plea hearing for her crimes and admitted unequivocally that she was guilty of 4 counts of aggravated CA. Now, sentencing will happen at a later date, but if the news that Ruby got caught wasn't good enough, and trust me, it was a good news, okay? A bitch was very excited when I heard this was finally was happening, but things got even better when on December 27th, 2023, just about a week ago, fellow YouTuber and arguably scum barnacle of the earth, Jodi Hildebrandt, Ruby's literal partner in crime, also pled guilty to 4 counts of aggravated CA. Never before have YouTubers been held accountable at the scale that Ruby and Jodi have been, at least no one that we've covered here, which leaves me with a few questions. How severe will Ruby's sentence be? What about Ruby's actual partner and alleged partner in crime, Kevin Franke? And what about Jodi Hildebrandt in regards to her own sentencing? Yes, these are guilty pleas, but could they get off on a sweet, sweet deal with minimal time to serve? And most important,
that's what scares me. That's exactly what scares me. Are they gonna do like the bare minimum? That will disgust me. I'm sorry. I will be so angry. I mean, not that me being angry changes anything, but it will break my heart if that happens.
Oh yeah.
Ugh.
Lee, how did we get to this point right here, right now? Well, we're gonna dig into that. And this is what we know.
I love her intro.
Oh, hi there. Hello, hi. It's my face again. Swoop. Thank you so much for being here with me. And if you're seeing me for the first time, welcome. I make documentaries and short films on unsolved cases, true crime, and social media influencers who abuse their power and manipulate audiences because, as I always say, it's not drama, it's dangerous. We also dig deeper into the root psychology, and yes, sometimes we take it to Petty University because, honey, Petty is my coping mechanism for the asshats, okay? Raise your hand, class, raise your hand if you could relate. If you want to join the Petty University community, all are welcome. And you can also grab your ribcage hoodie and the new Valid collection from the Petty University apparel shop. It is linked below as always. Again,
I like the one with the heart. That one actually was cool.
I love that.
So many of you grabbed up your items over the holidays. I hope you are truly loving them. Please continue to tag me in your photos on Instagram so that I can share you. I love seeing them. I also have Okay, we're gonna dive into this story, but real quick, a big thank you to today's sponsor, Cooking Fever. I don't know about you, but sometimes I just need to unplug from the world around me.
She always dresses good.
Yes. Oh, I bet her closet is just amazing.
Yep.
Oh no.
Okay, let's go here.
I'm so jealous.
I know. She's so pretty. It should be outlawed. I hate her.
Yeah.
No, I don't really hate her. No. Everybody in the audience, because I know y'all gonna go, why did you hate Swoop? I do not hate Swoop, okay?
She's just so pretty.
I'm just jealous. Yes.
Popular Utah family vlogger Ruby Franke was arrested Wednesday.
A Utah woman who gave online parenting advice through a once popular YouTube channel has now been arrested.
The arrest of a popular YouTube mom known for her strict parenting style.
In the grand tradition of the absolute worst suspects in the cesspool, we are back today for part 3 of my coverage on the 8 Passengers travesty. Now, if you want to get caught up on the full story, I recommend that you watch part 1 and 2, which are linked below. But to give you a very quick recap of kind of the bullet points, 8 Passengers was a YouTube channel that was run by a momfluencer named Ruby Franke and her hubby, Kevin, documenting what seemed to be a fairly banal day-to-day life alongside their 6 kids in Utah in a supersized Mormon family. Now, specifically, they were members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Now, as I've said before, this is an important detail to remember, otherwise I wouldn't feel the need to point it out. Ruby and Kevin ran this channel from 2015 to 2023, and on the surface, it seemed like pretty basic mommy vlog BS, but beneath the surface, there were some incredibly questionable things going on. If you want to know, here are a few of the censored lowlights from these lowlives.
You have a football game to go to. You ignore the crying in the background. I got a text message from Eve's teacher, and she said that Eve did not pack a lunch today, and can I bring a lunch over to the school? I responded and just said Eve is responsible for making her lunches in the morning, so the natural outcome is she's just going to need to be hungry.
It is the parents' job to make sure they're being managed, and so that would fall onto me, and I am not willing to take the time to manage all of the electronics. So for the entire summer, there will be no iPads in the house. But what you guys didn't know was Chad didn't get any room. He didn't get anything. He was sleeping on the floor in the family room. That was 7 months ago.
The iPads, no iPads during the summer. Okay, I'm not going to.
Yeah, that one's fun.
Yeah, I'm not pointing that one out. But yeah, he was sleeping on the floor.
Yeah,
he was sleeping on the floor. Like, bro, what?
He's a growing teenage boy, and to be able to like, that's like something that would stunt his growth and like his just literally growing altogether. Like that's just,
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's gross.
Maybe you need longer without a bedroom.
All the discipline takes place off camera.
No amount of money. And I'm telling you, I was making millions. And I left it.
When I first started covering this story in early 2023, it was part of a bigger focus by content creators and myself on the absolute moral failings of family channels on YouTube, leveraging what I believe to be the exploitation of children for ad revenue. Creators that have covered like the Daddy of Five, the LeBrant family, the Bollinger family, like you know them, you hate them, and countless creators have covered them to blow the whistle on how potentially dangerous their content is. Some of this whistleblowing has resulted in YouTube taking action against the channels, with the most noteworthy example being the shutdown of the original Daddy of Five channel. But Ruby and Kevin, their story took a much, much darker turn. After some time, there was a marked shift in Ruby's approach to content, and she teamed up with another woman named Jodi Hildebrandt, a self-proclaimed mental fitness expert, whatever the hell that fake-ass title is. Honestly, mental gymnastics sounds more appropriate, but you know, what do I know?
Yeah.
But Jodi ran an alleged mental health consulting company called Connections that had its own corresponding YouTube channel. You know what? Jodi's steam
AKA a cult.
Yeah.
It was a cult.
Yep.
It was absolutely a cult.
Oh yeah.
Pile of compost makes me remember something. We've got a little sidebar here. Jodi Hildebitch's website is literally still up. Yeah, and literally still accepting new patients. I mean, at least you can click the buttons and it does things, and it looks like it's literally charging credit cards to speak to Jodi and Ruby.
No.
What?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
How
that's
is that possible?
I don't know. That okay, that's weird.
Wow.
You not. Whew. Please, for the love of all things petty, do not sign up for this bullfuckery. Jodi lost her license and her freedom. Somebody needs to shut that site down. Okay, sidebar over, back to the story. Now, along the way, Ruby became a part of Jodi's already touring circus as well.
There's no truth in me doing something in order for you to feel safe. Safety is about you. Now, you may agree with, it's fine to be transgendered, as they call it. That's just a made-up word. Somebody made it up.
I didn't know they were doing that.
Well, yeah, it is the Mormon church.
Well, true.
Jesus Christ
So it kind of,
yeah.
I mean, it does make sense. I mean, that's the same religion that said black people were cursed by God. I mean,
there you go.
I'm not surprised, to be honest.
Ah, yes, memories of simpler times. Stay awful, Jodi. Stay awful. Now, this is where the story gets a little complicated and branches off into two wildly different directions before converging into one big fustercluck. So we'll start with Jodi, whose company Connections claim to give relationship guidance, with their key focus being on people achieving true connections with each other, not being in distortion. Their words, not mine. My gosh, not mine.
Each one of us are responsible to learn 3 core principles: impeccable honesty, rigorous personal responsibility, and vulnerable humility in order to stay connected. So distortion is the choice to disconnect. It's a choice to disconnect. So all of us want to have relationships, and we all want to be connected in those relationships. However, few of us understand that connection is an outcome of living those 3 principles. And so distortion is its counterpart. And so if you don't understand connection, then you won't understand that you're disconnecting.
This friend.
Word salad. That was...
Yeah, what?
If this was the case, then she's not living by that, and neither was Ruby. Like, it's all self-serving for them, isn't it? Like none of that makes sense.
Like cult leaders, it was a cult. It was literally a cult. God, I get angry with the subject.
Is a prime example of what I like to call a bitch's lips are moving, but they ain't saying not a damn thing. I think this is what Meghan Trainor was singing about last century. So here are some words directly from Jodi's should-be-defunct website. Quote, by taking a course, people learn they are in distortion by the following: being addicted to your spouse, work, shopping, electronic games, sleep, social media, driving, receiving compliments, exercise, eating, D or alcohol, SP, hobbies, entertainment. You know, like generally existing and breathing as a human being and doing things to enjoy your life. Sorry, I added that. Okay, let me get back to her script. Let's continue. The things you can become addicted to are endless. Also, living in shame and denial, knowing you are not enough, being codependent in your relationship, living in lust, being sexually attracted to your spouse, because God forbid you be sexually attracted.
Wait, what?
What?
I'm so confused.
I'm not. She wants everybody to be miserable. And miserable people will go by your word. It basically, it aligns with the whole cult leader thing.
Yeah, it really does. Breaking them down.
Yeah, exactly.
And isolating them.
Yes.
Isolating them as well. Yeah.
Yep.
So you can't be connected to your spouse, like especially like not sexually. What the hell?
That's
like what the
bro.
I said, but then you can't watch porn either. So
yeah, you can't do
fun with
anything.
that.
Yeah, have fun with that.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm starting the year off extra petty, I know, and it's just because this story, more than like a lot of the stories that I've covered here, just pisses me off so much. And y'all know I cope with things with the petty, and I'm just... Okay, let me get back to it. So to narrow kind of Jodi down even further, it was actually shaming tactics, primarily targeting the men in the relationships that Jodi was counseling, that has proved to be some of the most destructive and most diabolical for years. This is not just a...
I don't care. I'm gonna say it. She hated men. Okay? I think she was a lesbian in hiding because she was Mormon and into the Mormon church. And that's how she made her money, because the Mormon church would send people to her connections. But in secret, she was a lesbian. I'm going to say it. Allegedly, for entertainment purposes only. However, that's how I feel. I am not saying it as a fact, but I think she was a lesbian. And
I agree. She was mad.
Men.
She was mad at men for having a penis where their vagina should be.
Yes.
Well, I just looked it up. Apparently, Jodi Hildebrand has a husband, and he's lived a relatively private life away from the limelight, and she's got kids as well.
You have a phone close to your microphone, don't you?
Yes, that's why. I do. I was looking it up. So like she's got like 2 children from a marriage with like Brenton, his name is, but apparently it says they're still together, but I don't know.
Wait a minute. If they were still together, then where was he at when all this happened?
Yeah, I feel like they're the type of couple, they have separate bedrooms.
Yeah, they have separate houses, dude. They're not living together.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
2023 thing. This is years. Though, she does manage to somehow outdo herself with the recent charges, but we're not there yet. So in regards to Jodi's relentless machine churning out countless victims, and in particular male victims, there is nobody in the Jodi Hildebrand story who has publicly and devastatingly experienced this as hard as Adam Steed, a man who received national recognition as a whistleblower against the LDS Boy Scouts long time ago, who saw his life completely ruined after Jodi's so-called counseling, mental fitness. To paraphrase myself from part 2, Adam had been struggling with a lifelong addiction to something Jodi called impure behavior, and I still will not be going into detail about that. I believe that man has faced enough torment and degradation to last 10 lifetimes. I'm not going to drudge up the stuff that she claimed against him. Now, Jodi told Adam that he had a number of distortions, and then began what Adam describes as a 2-pronged attack on his relationship. First, by placing Adam, a victim of CSA, in an accountability group with literal S offenders attending the group. That would be like hosting an AA meeting at a bar during happy hour, only make it 50 times more disturbing. And it was on top of all of that she began weaponizing information from her sessions with Adam by telling it to his wife, who increasingly distanced herself from Adam as the months went on. Now, eventually she left Adam, took the kids.
That's horrible.
That is so sad.
That's major manipulation as well. That's so bad.
That's horrible. That's absolutely horrible. Oh my God.
That poor guy.
And made allegations of harmful behavior against Adam that kickstarted a series of events, including him being kicked out of school and banned from church services. Now, along the way, Adam's wife began working for Jodi. Not a conflict of interest at all. This man literally saw his life fall apart in one of the most disgusting and dramatic ways imaginable, and it was all, allegedly, Jodi's fault. Jodi, a woman who has also been accused of abusing her nibbling Jessie for over a year when Jessie was a teen.
I understand why the public is focusing on Ruby. It's Ruby's children. But all of these theories and these modalities and these parenting ideas, that all comes from Jodi.
So, what does all of that have to do with Ruby? Well,
she did say it. She did, or they did say it, excuse me. Wrong pronouns. They did say it, though.
Yeah.
They said it all over the place. It was Jodi. It was Jodi. But you know what, though? Ruby, one, that was their mother. That was the kid's mother, all right? First and foremost, you're supposed to protect your children no matter what. Second, I just think that she stepped up her evilness when she got with Jodi.
Yeah, it's like they both kind of ignited each other to like be even worse, right?
Yes.
Like,
yeah,
exactly.
Almost beat for beat, something similar happened with Ruby and Kevin Franke. They started getting counseling by Jodi. Jodi isolated Ruby and Kevin, and the couple separated. Ruby started then working with her counselor, Jodi. And as for the allegations of abuse, well,
I just had a 12-year-old boy show up here at my front door asking for help, and he's said he just came from a neighbor's house, and we know there's been problems at this neighbor's house. He's hungry and he's thirsty.
This is when the story finally made international headlines everywhere. On August 31st, 2023, Ruby and Jodi were arrested after Utah residents made the horrific discovery of Ruby's 12-year-old son walking around a neighborhood in an emaciated state looking for food and water. And when Jodi's house was searched later, one of her daughters was found in a similar, equally disturbing state. Now, my heart just has been broken for her family, not for her family, her kids, since the very beginning, since before she was arrested, before we knew that it was really this bad, just seeing how she treated them in the vlog content and the things that she put them through. It's just, without going into detail, of course, it's just so sad, and I hope that, they're quite young. The ones who were directly involved with the arrests are still very, very young. So in some ways, I'm just like hoping, I don't know, I'm not a psychologist, I don't know how this works, but in some ways I'm just hoping that they are so young that they can bounce back quicker from this, that maybe it won't implant in the brain in the same way if they had been a bit older. I don't even know if that can happen. That's just what I hope, because I don't.
I'm gonna be for real. I think she messed them up for life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a lot of that stuff, stuff such as like DID and lots of stuff happens when you're younger. Usually it's around the 6, 7, 8-year-old mark, where if you have something traumatic enough, you tend to, you tend to try and withdraw from that, and then you end up having like a front, and you sort of repress those memories, and then later on it comes back and hurts you even more. Like it's not something that can, I guess, be, put into the side and you're going to bounce back from. I don't believe that at all. Like, that's going to severely stuff them up for the rest of their lives.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
A lot of it's going to depend on the care that they get afterwards, how they're going to develop.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's sad. It's really sad. That woman should never see her kids ever again.
No, you're right.
But you know what? Honestly, let's be for real. It's up to them, because one day they may need to have that conversation with her to close it out in their life. Once they get older, it's just that I want her. I can't help to think I want her to suffer.
Well, I believe that conversation that they might have later on in life will make her suffer internally, and I hope that actually happens, because they're going to ask her the questions, why? Mm-hmm. Why did you do this to me? How could you let this happen to me? And I honestly don't think she's going to be able to answer that.
Nope.
Without sounding like a selfish, crazy cow. Like, honestly.
I agree. I
want them to suffer more than they already have. Anyway, sorry. Now, Jodi and Ruby were arrested and held under suspicion of 2 charges that later became 6 charges each. And it was this series of events that finally led the platform to delete the 8 Passengers and Connections channels, not the, mountains of evidence of harm uploaded to the channels and monetized to the ka-ching of millions of dollars, or the thousands of folks asking the platform to do anything before it was too late. But hey, E for effort, I guess, right? At least it's progress. Since the arrest, Ruby and Jodi have been in jail awaiting sentencing, and there have been a few noteworthy updates that I didn't get the chance to cover between Part 2's release and now, which I want to get into before we dissect their pleas. So first up was a wealth of body cam footage obtained by ABC showing the moment Ruby's house was swarmed by police.
Yes. Exclusive body cam footage obtained by ABC News showing the moments police swarm Frankie's Utah home the day of her arrest on August 30th.
Police department!
Guns drawn as police scour room to room in Franke's home for more of her children after one of them escaped from a house of her business partner nearly 4 hours away in Ivins, Utah.
Her son was wandering the streets. Her daughter was there. But what about Ruby's middle children?
But more exclusive body cam confirming the
Okay, we saw this one. We saw this one when they went to the house, yeah. Or went to the other house, excuse me. Of the CEO of Connections?
Yeah, I think she was was she the CEO or the chief financial officer? Something like that.
Yeah,
CEO,
she was up there. She's a partner. She was up there, yeah.
Yeah.
Whereabouts of the two middle children. A different police agency finding them miles away and turning them over to the state.
According to the Salt Lake Tribune in Utah, about an hour after police found Ruby's son and daughter, she asked her buddy Pam Botcher, who we briefly talked about in part 2, to pick up her middle daughters. Now, Pam, if you don't remember, is the alleged president of the Connections Foundation and a woman that Jodi's nibbling, Jessie, describes as one of Jodi's biggest enablers. And listen, I really hope that someone is digging into her activities during this time. I mean, if she's purely, completely innocent of any wrongdoing, then I hope that it is left there. But if she ain't, the way Jessie has talked, I don't know, Kevin too.
Just saying, throw her in too, along with the husband. Just saying.
They honestly need to tear apart the whole Connections situation. Like imagine how many families have been put into the same situations that we don't even know about.
I'm gonna be honest. I think if this was done in another state, I think that would be happening. But in order for them to do that, they're gonna have to look into the Mormon Church. Because the Mormon Church, or at least that section of the Mormon Church, was sending people to Connections. And then that means they'll have to investigate that. I think if this didn't happen in Utah, it would be a different story. I think they would have dig deeper. But I think they're stopping it at that because of that.
Yeah. I hate how the churches are involved in like this, like just the legal proceedings, and it's just, I can't.
I hate it. I absolutely hate it.
Now, there are hours and hours of this body cam footage out there, and much of it has been released publicly, so I won't try to, show you every part of it that I could find. However, one of the most noteworthy exchanges in the whole video is a clip, which coincidentally I also won't show in the interest of protecting the kids, but it was where a cop asked one of them why they looked terrified, and they don't answer straight away, so the cop asks, do you go to school, or would you rather not talk? After 45 minutes or so of back and forth like this, their sibling whispers into their ear, and then a worker with the Utah Division of Child and Family Services arrives and tells the officer, quote, if you're going to talk to them separately. I think they might be coaching them, implying that one of the siblings might have been whispering into the child what to tell the officer. Now, I know that there has been some blowback against the...
I mean, you knew that was going to happen. I mean, because think about it. The kids are always taught to, outsiders are bad.
Well, yeah, and also, like, they probably would think about the implications that, like, the stuff that would happen to them if they said something wrong, like, because they've already been, severely mishandled by the people that's supposed to love them, and like, if they don't say what they're supposed to say, like, imagine what's going to happen after that. Like,
they were taught fear. They were taught to fear everybody, even though they're in a bad situation. The only reason why that boy, the son, did what he did because he was on the brink of what he felt like was death. He was desperate, and that's the only reason why he left that house to go find food and water, because he was that desperate. If he wasn't in that desperation, he wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, I believe that too.
And that's because they feared everybody. It's sad. The only people that they feared their mother, they feared Hildebrandt. They obviously feared them. But to them, the outside world was probably worse because they were probably told the outside world was worse.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, man.
The officer as to how this was handled. I am not law enforcement professional, nor am I in child services. I don't know the full protocol there, but I'm just glad the end result is still the same, that these women were arrested. It leaves me asking the question, were they just frightened, or had Ruby and Jodi coached them not to speak if the police ever showed up? They could have been, for all we know, they could have been telling them all along, hey, if anyone ever shows up at the door, you're not allowed to tell them what's happening here. Everything about this situation is just so chilling to me, and the release of the body cam footage is quite illuminating. But it's not as illuminating as the Kevin Franke development. On November 30th, Kevin Franke made made the news when it was announced that he had filed for divorce from Ruby after a long period of separation between the two. Now, according to NBC News, Kevin filed for divorce in the 4th District Court of Utah. Divorce records are private in Utah, and Ruby and Kevin filed something called a domestic relations injunction, which basically means that neither of them are allowed to harass or like talk about each other during the divorce in front of the kids. Now, if you've watched the other parts of my series, you know that the Kevin Franke of it all is a bit frustrating for me, since Kevin was, in my opinion, at best aware of and at worst an accomplice to the very worst things Ruby Franke did to the family.
He absolutely was. He is the one person that could have stopped all this.
Yep.
And he didn't. He chose not to. And I don't care what anybody says, it was still a choice for him not to get his kids out of there.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was a choice of his to live as close as he did and not see his children. That was a choice.
Yep.
Yeah, just as much of a choice it was for him to sit by and sit next to Ruby when she was trying to explain how they mishandled their children and like when they were punishing their kids, and he was sitting there next to her and they were just justifying everything to the camera.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that in itself is just like
he was complicit. He was an accomplice.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he abandoned his children. He absolutely abandoned his children.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he did.
It's gross. It's absolutely gross.
Kevin even did some truly heinous shit himself. And the fact that the absolute worst he's got coming to him seems to be a dissolution of his marriage it's incredibly disappointing on so many levels, okay? A bitch is like, okay, innocent until proven guilty. Now, to be fair, Kevin has firmly denied being aware of the extent of what Ruby was charged with doing, and that...
I guess so, because he didn't go see his kids. If he would have saw his kids on the regular, would he have not noticed the bruises? Would he have not noticed where those kids had bruises from where they were being tied up and stuff? Would he have not noticed the sunburn on his kids? He would have noticed all that if he would have just seen them.
Yeah.
He abandoned them.
They were.
Yes.
Yeah, emaciated.
Yeah, emaciated.
Emaciated.
There we go. Oh my God, I said a word right. Hell yeah. Yeah, but he would have seen all that had he had not abandoned them. So he doesn't. For me, he doesn't get the luxury to say I didn't know what was happening. I guess not, because you abandoned them.
Yeah, you buried your head.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what he did. Yes. Oh my God.
Could be true. But as we saw in parts 1 and 2, that doesn't mean he wasn't aware there was abusive things happening ever. Like,
exactly.
Like, not a chance. Like, he was literally there while some of it was filmed and edited and uploaded and had no problem spending that cold, hard, harmful family vlog cash. Come on, Kevin. Make it rain in this exploitative bitch. Sorry.
I mean,
New Year.
She ain't wrong. She ain't wrong.
Gloss. All right.
Ruby and Kevin used Chad for more views.
That is very true.
I'm a part of this. So you're probably wondering, what did Chad do? Okay, we're not even going to entertain that stuff.
Long before we started YouTube, there were a lot of behavioral and emotional challenges that we were dealing with our kids. And we've been consulting with mental health and emotional health professionals for years. And the things that we show and share, and the things that many of you are criticizing and calling abusive, are actually things that mental health professionals have counseled us to do.
Now, Kevin's eternally bland lawyer, Randy Kester, sat down for an interview with Law and Crime the day after announcing the divorce, and although it painted a clearer picture on why Kevin hasn't even seen his kids in over a year, it doesn't paint a better picture to me on why he even deserves to see them anytime soon.
Thank you.
I don't know that is in their best interest.
The last time she and Kevin spoke directly between one another was when, on the day of her arrest, she called Kevin and asked for his help with the kids. And they hadn't spoken for even months before that. I mean, over the course of the year of their separation, they spoke directly maybe 3 or 4 times in an entire year. And then that's why when he got this call just out of the blue, it really kind of took him by surprise.
Now, we will be going over Ruby's charges a little bit later, but I can't help but feel really uncomfortable with this picture being painted of Kevin Franke as the savior in this situation. Like,
I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I hate it. He doesn't deserve to have that title.
No.
He doesn't deserve.
Yeah, you can't just go away and come back and say, "Look, I'm saving everybody."
Exactly.
Like, doesn't work like that, Kev.
I don't doubt that he was unaware of the severity of what happened in 2023 if he wasn't even around for it, but this is an avalanche though. Ruby and Kevin have always had it in them to be improper parents at best and downright jail-worthy at worst. I mean, literally, wait, look at what's happening. So it just kind of seems a bit rich for Kevin to act as if he is in any way morally superior here, okay? Allegedly, yeah. The biggest breakthroughs in the Ruby Franke case began truly on December 15th when her lawyers released a statement that dropped a few big bombshells. First, Ruby was entering into a plea agreement on Monday, December 18th. And second, she was doing it by throwing Jodi Hildebrandt as far under the jail bus as humanly possible. Quote, Ruby Franke is a devoted mother.
That's funny to say.
Yeah.
Woo, yeah.
I'm sorry. I will try to read that again and get through it. Seriously. Ruby Franke is a devoted... Try it again. Ruby Franke is a devoted mother and is also a woman committed to constant improvement. Wait. Okay. Okay, I didn't know if I was gonna do this, okay, but bitch, it is 2024, new year, new Professor Petty, okay? Petty Crocker has entered the chat, so Petty University, roll the intro.
Hell yeah.
I hate to stop so soon on this, but I really, really love the heavy lifting that Ruby Franke is a devoted mother is doing for a woman accused of harming those she mothers in increasingly awful ways. It's just like, what is she devoted to? Windward law, the representatives, violence, chaos, perhaps a race to the top of problematic family channel iceberg to criminal pipeline? Is that what she's committed to? Maybe it's a calorie deficit diet. I mean, it's just like we don't have a clear picture of what she's devoted to, since, jokes aside, she's clearly not devoted to the well-being of her family.
I mean, period.
Right.
Yeah. If that's not a period, point blank period, I don't know what it is. She's not wrong. Oh, God, she's I tell you what.
I love principals more than my child.
Yikes! And you know what? Statement coming to the press. Yikes. What the hell is this comically daft a woman committed to constant improvement? Who in the bloody hell actually believes that this woman is committed to anything other than causing as much destruction as possible while deflecting the blame to anyone who passes by? There are literally countless there were countless videos before they were deleted of Ruby accosting viewers and criticizers who were calling her out for her disgusting behavior and terrible treatment of her family for profit. This deeply insufferable person has never improved anything other than her manipulative techniques. I'm just like the actual buttery biscuit bullshit audacity of this statement. Anyways, I'm done. Class dismissed. Now, this statement does take an interesting turn regarding Ruby's feelings about Jodi compared to what we've seen in the past. Quote, initially Ms. Franke believed that Jodi Hildebrandt had the insight to offer a path to continual improvement. Ms. Hildebrandt took advantage of this quest and twisted it into something heinous. Over an extended period, Ms. Hildebrandt systematically isolated Ruby Franke from her extended family, older children, and her husband, Kevin Franke. Notice there's no mention of the younger children because this prolonged isolation resulted in Ms. Franke being subjected to a distorted sense of morality shaped by Ms. Hildebrandt's influence. Two things. Number one, great pun work from Windward Law by dropping distorted into the vernacular there. Yeah. Pick up on that like instantly. Don't know if much of the general public has, but yeah, that's the word they used all the time in their grand parenting content. Bonus points for thinking outside the cell block. But number two, this is a massive difference from how Ruby's conduct in prison and her alleged obsession with Jodi's well-being has been portrayed up to this point. Per what Windward Law is saying here, nearly all of the blame, or at least the inspiration for Ruby's own crimes, is being given to Jodi herself. If it weren't for Jodi, saith Windward Law, then everything would be hunky-dory A-okay.
Bullshit.
Yeah, cool bullshit on that too.
Bullshit. Because she was mistreating those children before she even met her.
Yeah. Publicly. And like all the stuff that was public, imagine what was done privately.
Yeah.
Like, screw that.
Yeah, imagine. Imagine what was done when the camera wasn't rolling. Come on, man. Come on.
I'm going to take the scissors, look at me, and I'm going to cut its head off.
Yeah. Hunky fucking dory.
Huh? Problem, buddy? Huh?
Do you?
The statement continues by saying, quote, during Ruby Franke's incarceration in Washington County Jail over the past few months, she has actively engaged in an introspection that has allowed her to reset her moral compass and understand the full weight of her actions. Miss Franke is committed to taking responsibility for the part she played in the events leading up to her incarceration. Demonstrating a sincere dedication to personal growth and rehabilitation, she has actively begun the process by reaching out to members of her family. Through heartfelt apologies, she seeks to mend relationships and contribute positively to the healing journey of her family. Listen, y'all, okay, I gotta say this, and Ruby was just arrested in the summer, like just a few months ago. It has not been that long. She was doing this for a long time to her family.
Yes.
And like, it's been building and things have been happening for years. Y'all can feel differently if you want. You're entitled to your opinion, please have it. For me, she didn't like suddenly figure out how to take accountability and is like making amends and is like deeply apologetic. No, like it's just, you don't just change just like that. Just
No. The only reason why she's doing it because she got caught.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the only reason why she's doing it is because she got caught. And what is a lawyer supposed to do? A lawyer, if you're a defense lawyer, you're supposed to flower it up and make it look better. You know? You're supposed to turn shit to roses. You're supposed to do that. That's what they get paid to do.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Because the, jail pinstripe suit doesn't suit your hair this week. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. And it's like at the end of the day, it's not mine to buy. I'm not the family directly affected. If they feel healed by this, then that is the most important thing. It's just really difficult to see people making statements like this after the truly horrendous things. And it's like, a month later, a couple of months later, and it's like, oh, learn from the actions and like committed to like, I think you kind of have to like sit with the consequences of your actions for like a long time before it can remotely start to feel like maybe something is happening here. I don't know. Anyways, Swoop has no love whatsoever for an admitted monster, no matter how sorry they say they are through their attorney. And
you know what? Fuck her feelings. I don't care about if she's sorry or not. I don't care.
Yeah.
At this point, I do not care how she feels about the situation. You were a monster. You put your kid's life in danger. You've always abused them. And you know what? I wish the husband was sitting right beside you.
Yep.
I don't care what their feelings are at this point.
Yeah, exactly. She's only sorry she got caught. That's all it is.
And with that, I don't even know that her reaching out to her family right now, when this is also fresh, is actually contributing to their healing versus potentially pouring a freight train worth of salt in the wound. From here, when Ward Law switches to the family at large, saying, quote, Ruby is aware that Kevin Franke has filed for divorce. While she is devastated by this news,
I'm sure she is.
Really? What else did you think was going to happen? She acknowledges and understands his anger and reasoning. Despite the pain, she respects his decisions and remains hopeful that with time she can contribute to rebuilding trust and fostering understanding within their family. Ruby has offered her full cooperation to help the children reunite with their father. Now this part isn't true.
No.
Or if it is, then this is a case of...
Wait, what? What was that? What did she say? Acknowledges and understands his anger and reasoning. Wait, while she's devastated by the news, she acknowledges and understands the reasoning. Despite the pain, she respects his decision and remains hopeful that with time she can contribute to rebuilding trust and fostering understanding with her family. Ruby has offered full cooperation to help her children reunite with their father. No!
No! Nuts.
No!
That is nuts. No way. Now they're just working together to make sure that the kids don't go to the state or something like that or go to somewhere else. Like, they're still going to try and keep them within the family. Like, this is just...
That's going to be so messed up if that's how this ends, is them just going to the man who did nothing to help them.
Literally, the man who did nothing.
And abandoned them.
Yeah.
Wow.
The children reunite with their father. Now this part isn't true. Or if it is, then this is a case of too little too late and a whole lot of Job Bluth energy in regards to her own marriage.
Okay, your dad's not trying to find you your son is. That kid's your son. You're the dad.
I made a huge, tiny mistake.
Now, I'm not going to take away from the possibility that Jodi Hildebrandt is allegedly a master manipulator and incredibly skilled at the art of isolating families. I said that in part 2. Countless people have come forward with disturbingly similar stories of her cunning, and it is incredibly likely that Ruby Franke was an easy mark for Jodi. But sis, it takes two to tango, okay? It really does. It really does here. Then the statement ends by saying, quote, Windward Law recognizes the profound love that Ms. Franke holds for her.
What?
And we are genuinely saddened that she found herself on this challenging path under the influence of Ms. Hildebrandt.
No, bitch.
No. They're literally trying to blame everything on Hildebrandt. Are you kidding me? Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Next line.
And you know, it only helps Frankie that this woman has other people that are saying, yeah, she messed me up too. Like that.
Bro.
Challenging path under the influence of Miss Hildebrandt. It is our firm belief that Miss Franke is a devoted mother who unfortunately was led astray. Wow. She is sincere in her commitment to secure the best possible future for her family, and we remain hopeful that blah, 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 words. I am not reading any more of that. Listen, she is sincere in her commitment to securing the best possible future for her family. To me,
She certainly wasn't like that ever.
No.
Nope.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Bro.
This just keeps getting worse.
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
Be Ruby committing to staying in prison and away from those kids, and honestly any kids, for as long as humanly possible. So if she's truly committed, then she would go to the sentencing judge and say, Judge, give me the max.
Yeah.
If you're committed to their protection and well-being. Right?
Oh,
Right,
yes.
Ruby? In my opinion, Ruby Franke is not fit to raise children in any safe or meaningful way anymore, and I think that this situation has proved that beyond.
She absolutely needs the max. I don't care. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care. And if you dare to tell me that she does not deserve the max, I am going to tell you to fuck off. And I don't care who you are. I'm gonna be honest. I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
If you think she doesn't deserve the max, then you know what? Stay away from me. I'm just saying. Stay away from me. Because, these are kids we're talking about here. Those babies didn't do anything wrong, not to deserve any of that. They didn't deserve any of that. Oh, my God.
On a reasonable doubt, if the existence of the 8 passengers' videos, the countless stories, and the 911 call didn't do it for you, well, the details of her plea agreement just might.
Oh, here we go.
On December 18th, 2023, Ruby Franke stepped foot in a court in St. George, Utah, for a plea hearing on 6 charges of aggravated CA, a hearing in which, shockingly, she pled guilty to 4 of the 6 charges against her and blamed Jodi Hildebrandt in the process. Let's start here.
Good morning. Welcome to District Court. We're here in the matter of State of Utah. Franke, case number 231501764. Mr. Winward is here representing Ms. Franke. Let's bring her out. And Mr. Clark and Mr. Shum are here representing the state of Utah. Ms. Franke is now here. Mr. Winward, we are scheduled for a waiver hearing. Is there going to be a waiver today?
There will.
Now, a lot of mileage has been made on social media already over how disturbing it is that Ruby Franke walks into a courtroom on these charges smiling from ear to ear. I mean, I even tweeted about it. To me, it's a truly disturbing sight to behold, but I do think it's also worth noting, to be fair, that KUTV reporter Brian Schnee outlined that some of Ruby's family actually came to the courtroom presumably to support her or to just to be present. I don't want to make assumptions, and it's incredibly likely that she was smiling at them, just trying to be fair, presenting all the context.
Yeah.
But she came out smiling. But now that I've
Wow.
Yeah, that looks like someone that's
really
ready to take
accountability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
leave the situation out as fairly as I can, to me, that makes this even more disturbing. Ruby handcuffed, top to bottom in gray and white jail clothes, about to face the harsh reality, and she doesn't showcase any other emotion until she's facing the other way. It's not a good look at all, okay? It's not.
Plus a plea agreement, Your Honor.
All right.
I'll ask the bailiff to hand you if it's been executed.
All right. Mr. Winward, you have discussed with Ms. Franke a preliminary hearing, what's involved in a preliminary hearing. She understands she has a right to a preliminary hearing on all of the charges in the case. She understands what the charges are, and she's prepared to waive a preliminary hearing in the case on all charges.
She is, and that is contained in this agreement on page 7 as well.
Very good.
Now, before we get too deep into this, we should start by establishing what exactly a plea deal is. Now, my friend and brilliant attorney and legal analyst, Emily D. Baker.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay, listen. I know a lot of people watch Emily D. Baker, okay? I am not fond of Emily D. Baker, and I know there's going to be 5,000 questions of why. Okay, I am not fond of Emily D. Baker. Okay, however, she does cover the court cases well, etc., etc. I get it. All right, I just have a instant urge to every time.
See, I like her.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think she just breaks down everything really well and in like plain speak. So that's the reason why I like her. I think maybe it's just a personality thing.
I don't know. Something about 2 years worth of tweets getting deleted after you get called out on what you say about Breonna. Breonna Taylor, just those things, that's all.
I didn't know about that.
Oh yeah, 2 years worth of tweets, but not current 2 years. It was just literally 2 years in a certain amount of span that was deleted, and literally you could see people were watching the tweets go boom, 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 boom. Yeah. Oof. Yeah. And it was after what she said about Breonna Taylor. Yeah. So, anywho.
Okay.
Has a succinct definition in her coverage of the story. I highly recommend you watch her entire video. It is so educational. She's great at breaking this stuff down and making it very digestible.
She does. I'll give it to her. She does know how to break down the law to the point where if you're a normie and you don't really understand like the big talk and the big words, she knows how to break them down and explain them. Now that part I will definitely give to her. Definitely.
Yeah. I'm an extreme normie when it comes to like law and legal and anything. So like if I don't understand something, I'll literally watch a little bit of the video and go, okay. I get it.
Yeah. And so she is helpful in that way. I do agree. So I'm not gonna, completely tear her down and say she's horrible. No, I'm not gonna do all that.
Yeah.
But
what a plea deal means is that she's going to be pleading to something less than everything she's charged to generally, with a negotiated agreement with the state, meaning the amount of time that she will be serving is negotiated between the defense and the prosecution, and they agree that the case is not going to go to trial and that the case is going to resolve. That generally means a certain number of the charges are dropped, and she is charged with 6 counts of aggravated, 3 counts for each victim.
The American Bar Association goes further by saying, quote, many criminal cases are resolved out of court by having both sides come to an agreement. This process is known as negotiating a plea or plea bargaining. In most jurisdictions, it resolves most of the criminal cases filed. Plea bargaining is prevalent for practical reasons. Defendants can avoid the time and cost of defending themselves at trial, the risk of harsher punishment, and the publicity a trial could involve. The prosecution saves the time and expense of a lengthy trial. Both sides are spared the uncertainty of going to trial. The court system is saved the burden of conducting a trial.
Okay, I'm sorry. When it comes to a case like this, I want the money spent for her to go to trial.
Yeah.
Because the chances of her, with the evidence in front of a jury, the chances of her getting even more of a sentence, I want this case to go to trial.
Right.
I'm sorry. It's not like she was selling weed. It's not like she was doing something like that. She literally was harming her children. I want a case like that. I want money spent on a case like that for her to go to trial. Oh my God.
Yeah.
And did I get that right before? Emily Baker said there was 3 counts per victim. So it's only the 2 children that they found.
Probably.
In those
it's not
conditions
based on each child. It's based on certain counts. Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. Because I thought they were like trialing for all the children.
No, it's not each. No, it was based off on what they found.
Oh,
right.
I hate that.
Yeah, it's not based on each kid. Yeah.
There we go.
On every crime charged, and either side may begin negotiations over a proposed plea bargain, though obviously both sides have to agree before one comes to pass. Plea bargaining usually involves the defendants pleading guilty to a lesser charge or to only one of several charges. Now, in Ruby's case, she pleaded guilty to 4 charges of second-degree abuse. Not exactly lesser charges, and of course not exactly one of several charges. It was 4 out of the 6. Per the terms of her actual plea agreement, Ruby pleads guilty to these charges on these conditions. The defendant shall submit to a pre-sentence investigation with adult probation and parole. So what's that? Well, it actually is exactly what it sounds like. According to the U.S. Probation Office, quote, pre-sentence investigations include interviews with and soliciting records from the defendant, family members, educators, treatment providers, employers, and law enforcement officials to gather and or verify background information, meaning they're digging into Ruby's entire past to use that to weigh out how strict her sentence would be. Oh wait, what is that?
Wow.
What is that, Ruby? Is that the consequences of years-long actions coming back to haunt you? Let's continue. The defendant agrees to serve a prison term. Now, this is fairly self-explanatory, though the span of time she'll serve remains to be seen. So, here's hoping to closer to the maximum versus the minimum. This was me holding up a toast glass, I guess. Let's toast towards the maximum. The sentence received for count 1, count 3, count 5, and count 6 are to be served consecutive to each other. So this is meaning one after the other, back to back to back to back, versus serving them like all at the same time.
That's actually good.
Yeah.
You want them consecutive. Oh my God. If she gets the maximum consecutive, oh my God, that will be amazing. Oh, let's go.
I mean, so to give you an example, let's just say that, I don't know, Ruby is sentenced to 5 years for count 1, 10 for count 3, 1 for count 5, and 1 for count 6. That means Ruby would serve 17 years in that scenario, since each are served one after the other. But the most interesting detail here, quote, the defendant agrees to testify truthfully against Jodi Hildebrandt, and in return, the Washington County Attorney's Office agrees to remain neutral regarding...
See, that's why she did that plea agreement. That's why I said it. I said
hearings.
It. Oh. Agrees to remain neutral. Oh my God. Yep. That's why she did it. I cannot believe they took the mother and was like, you testify against Jodi Hildebrandt, then, we'll give you less. What? She's a mother. If anything, she should get more than Jodi Hildebrandt.
Wow.
She should get more than Jodi Hildebrandt. She should be held accountable to the highest because she was their mother.
Yeah.
Oh,
and this does imply that there will be future hearings too. So I'm looking forward to that. But the fact that they're saying they're going to remain neutral, meaning they're not going to put anything that's been happening so far weighing into those results. I feel like that's a massive misstep. I feel like everything should be taken into consideration. That is just bullshit.
I hate it.
Regarding future hearings before the Utah Board of Pardons and Parole. Whew! It's a lot to take in, isn't it? What I can say is good. They're arrested, they're in prison, and they're going to serve time. We don't know how much time, but they're going to serve time. And that's a good thing. Now, as I said at the beginning of this doc, I'm not going into the details or anything graphic. There are many reasons. Mainly, it gets to be too much. I don't want it to be too much for you guys. I want you to be able to still watch and learn from the story and hopefully get some takeaways from everything. Yeah, I mean, that's the main reason. Also, of course, I gotta, adhere to the platform's policies, but I just want to make sure that we can still talk about this stuff without it getting too much. Just very, very light overview. Count 1 are allegations that Ruby made.
Oh, God, I hate this part. I hate this part. I haven't seen this yet, but she's getting ready to go into the counts, and
Yeah.
Okay, deep breath. We can do it. Let's go. Buddy system.
One of her small ones do hours and hours of physical labor. They didn't have shoes in the summer heat, while also being forced to stay outside with no access to drinking water or sufficient food. It's a lot more than that, but I'm gonna leave it there. Now, another count I will read, this also is not graphic. It just speaks to some mental health, the human aspect, right? Quote, the actions described above caused severe emotional harm due to the fact that they began in May and escalated throughout the summer months. Additionally, the defendant and another adult regularly sought to indoctrinate them and convince them that they were evil and possessed, and that they needed to willingly be obedient to avoid punishments, and that the punishments were necessary to repent. We have literally heard that in their videos that they used to upload. They were also told that everything that was being done to them were acts of love. This is
gross.
Those kids are gonna be so fucked up.
Yeah.
It's so sad.
It's so disgusting that I see people who are graced with having children and they just completely just take advantage of it.
Yeah.
They just completely
not
take
only
advantage
that,
of it.
really look at what a beautiful life she had. They had a beautiful home. They had good income, beautiful children that were all healthy, and they just pissed it all away because they had their heads so far up their asses. Like, it's amazing.
It's sad.
Yeah.
It's so sad. I hate it. I hate it so much.
This is sadly one of the more common manipulation tactics that we've seen time and time again in life and in the stories that I cover on this channel. You know, the I'm only hurting you because I love you. This is your fault. I'm doing this to help you. How many of you have been told that, right? And it's a lie. If
That's so gross. I hate it too.
I hate that so much.
someone is harming you and telling you they're harming you to make you better, or so because it's out of love, because you need to be fixed, you need to be corrected, all of this bullshit. It's a lie. Please don't believe it. If you or someone you know are experiencing that, experiencing someone treating you like that, trust me, I've been there as a survivor, and I'm gonna start the year off again saying what I always say. If they're harming you, telling you it's your fault, and they're doing it to fix you, they are lying to you. There's nothing wrong with you. It's not your fault. This is not an example of love. You don't deserve that. You are worthy of being cherished and protected, and you are worthy of feeling safe.
True.
Period. End of story. And there are people and resources out there to help you. If you feel like you have no one, please visit a resource like RAINN, RAINN. It has great resources and tools. You can reach out to people anonymously just to talk, if you just want to talk, and they can help you
True.
Absolutely.
through it. You do not have to go through this alone, and you do not deserve it. Start this year off believing and knowing that you are valid and you are worthy, and you will get through this. I promise you, you will. And to Ruby Franke and Jodi Hildebrandt, who were saying this to Ruby's own family, I will say this to you, Ruby, with the utmost realness. F you, dude.
Yes.
Now, I went ahead and
yep.
read the full account of everything that happened. I do not recommend that you go and do the same. There are some things in this world that you do not need to expose your mind or your spirit to, and I will not be able to unread the details of what she did. And it is beyond, it is so beyond what I ever imagined a human could do. And in my opinion, after reading it all, Ruby should never be allowed to be near children or any vulnerable person ever again. Ever. 100%. Full stop. I don't say that flippantly or lightly. After what I've read, this is the only conclusion that I think anyone should come to. Now, can people change? Yes. Do I like to believe that people can change? Yes, I have to. I have to retain that hope. Do I personally believe that someone could do this to their own for months and rehabilitate and never do this again and be safe around them? No.
No, absolutely not. She's a monster. She's a monster. She's literally a monster. No, she should not. She shouldn't even see the light of day. She should actually be under the prison. She shouldn't even be, bro. Please, whatever y'all do when y'all put her in prison, please put her in Gen Pop. Please put her in general population. Right. Because those women who actually love their children, oh my God, they're going to tear her ass up.
Yep.
They're going to tear her ass up.
I can't imagine a world where she's going to come out and you know, get back with her family and do lots of rehabilitate without her children not feeling safe around her. Like, she's damaged them to the point where they don't feel safe in their own home because of her. Yeah. What makes them? What's going to make them feel like they are safe again and loved at any capacity by this woman? Like, there's no way in hell.
She's a monster. She's a monster. She's not even a human being in my eyes anymore.
No. Yeah. An empty shell.
I don't want to feel this way, and generally I'm a very forgiving person, oftentimes to my own harm, but this tests every fiber of my being into it being unforgivable.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. It's just my opinion. Everyone's entitled to their own.
I've heard the court say this several times in a different fashion. We are not binding the court to any specific sentence, and the court retains its right to sentence as it sees fit. I just mentioned that this is not a Rule 11 plea, although it's a stipulated statement of defendant.
Now, each of the 6 charges is attached to a sentence of anywhere from 1 to 15 years in prison. So, you know, do the math real quick, and you see that Ruby could serve anywhere from 6 to 90 years in prison. Were she charged and convicted and got the max on all of it?
Bro, she better get 90.
Yeah, she better get 90. She better not see the light of day again.
So she is going to be getting some prison time, and that is why they are doing the pre-sentencing report, so that they have all of the information to send her to whichever prison facility she is going to, but that will be consecutive time. How much time? It could be 5 years on each count. It could be 1 year on each count. It could be 2 years on each count. The maximum is 15 years on the counts. This is a first offense in that it is the first time she's been charged with this. So she will be getting her time stacked, and we will see how much time she will get stacked. They've agreed to the 4 counts. They've agreed that those counts will be consecutive, but it does not look like they've agreed on the amount of time. That is a very interesting quirk. This makes that pre-sentencing report, a pre-sentencing investigative report, much more interesting. Oh, that is interesting.
So with that out of the way, how did the plea hearing itself go?
Ms. Franke, did you sign this agreement?
Yes.
And you did that today? Your signature represents to the court that you've read it carefully, that you understand what you've read, and that you agree to all of the terms. Is that all accurate?
Yes.
Ms. Franke, is anyone pressuring you to enter into this agreement?
No.
Anyone promising you anything I haven't been told about?
No.
Is there anything today that could in any way interfere with your ability to understand the agreement, its consequences, anything?
No.
No physical condition, no medication, nothing?
No.
Ms. Franke, how do you plead to count 1, a second-degree felony?
Guilty.
To count 3, a second-degree felony?
No, bitch, you don't get to cry. Bitch, you don't get to cry. Fuck you.
No.
You don't get to cry. Oh my God, I hate this so much.
Guilty.
To count 5, a second-degree felony?
Guilty.
And to count 6?
With my deepest regret and sorrow for my family and my children. Guilty.
I'm sorry. I need a moment here. I would like to speak directly to Ruby. Given the nature of what you're pleading guilty to, Ruby, I'm not buying that speech or those crocodile tears. I don't give one flying ball. In my opinion, you lost the right to cry for yourself the moment you even thought about doing the things I've read that you did that I will not share here. Some of the language being used in that agreement, the exact actions you're admitting to, are some of the sickest and most horrifying things that I have read, and I'm literally not even gonna say it out loud here. And these are just the things that happened for a few months.
And they are bad because I've read them.
Wow.
They're really bad. Really, really bad. She doesn't have she doesn't have the right to even gain tears. She doesn't have that right. She lost that right.
Yeah.
In 2023,
She's
these aren't the
crying
years
for herself.
Yeah.
And years of things you filmed, edited, and put on your channel. I firmly believe, Ruby, that you are a sick person and not the kind of sick who doesn't know right from wrong. We always carve out space for that for people and mental illness. I'm talking about the kind of sick who knows damn well what is right and chooses wrong out of your own selfishness. And I don't know if this is a God complex, ego, whatever distortion thing you want to blame it on, but you can't blame all this on Jodi when you went on your jolly way every day and every night and intentionally hid it from the world and tried to cover your tracks. You did that. You hid it. In my opinion, you're not remorseful for what you put your family through. You're remorseful.
No, she's not remorseful. She's not remorseful. What? That would mean
no. Happened too fast for her to be that.
Thank you. Thank you, Bonnie. You're correct.
Remorseful because you got caught and separated from your precious Jodi, who you've turned on now. Like, you have no loyalty to your family and you sold your soul with Jodi, and now you don't even have the balls to be loyal to her. I don't know. Maybe at sentencing this will be a good deal for you, but in the moment, you're admitting to some of the most horrifying parts of your own crimes in exchange for this good deal. So time will tell if it's worth it, Ruby. Okay, I'm done.
Counsel, what about sentencing on February 20th? I think, do you and your client agree to waive time, counsel?
We do agree to waive time, Your Honor.
So what are the benefits of Ruby taking a plea deal that requires her to still admit something so incredibly monstrous? Well, first of all, no trial. And because there's no trial, no one will be testifying against Ruby. More importantly, that means that her children won't have to testify against their mother, which would almost certainly re-traumatize them and the family. And at the end of the day, I think that's the best outcome anyone could have hoped for. They've been through more than enough and don't need this to drag on any further. That's just my opinion. But this could also result in a lighter sentence for Ruby. And plus, in a twisted way, stay with me for a second, by not going to trial, this keeps details from becoming public, which in a way kind of gives Ruby the ability to control what the public sees about how she treated her family, which was the same style of control she had when she was vlogging. If you think about it, she got to pick and choose what she filmed and how she edited it. And now she's, so I don't know. Congratulations, Ruby. Even from behind bars, I guess you still managed to control at least part of the narrative that the public will know.
She will not have every... She had to pick and choose what she wanted to be in the final edit, yet she still put in all that disgusting she did to her kids beforehand. I don't understand the thought process behind that, because that isn't like, punishing like her children like lightly or anything like that. That was severely harming them, and most of the things that she did, and she still put all that out there. Like, what kind of thought process is that?
Well, this is what I was wondering. You know where it said that she said that a lot of the things that they did to punish their children was things that like a therapist told them to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With them being in Utah, are there Mormon therapists that would maybe recommend some craziness?
No, that's what Hildebrandt was. She was a Mormon therapist with crazy shit. Yeah.
Yeah, but even before, so even like a regular therapist, there's a chance they could have picked a therapist that has a very similar punishment style, you know, that they do, that could have recommended some crazy. I don't.
Like taking away a bedroom from your eldest son for 7 months.
I think that part of it isn't the Mormon part. That's just her being a shitty ass human being.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
I don't think that part is the Mormon part. I think what it is that's how Hildebrandt got her, I hate to say it, but victims. That's how she got her victims, because the Mormon church sent them there. But I think her being a sick ass person, she could have done it under Christianity. Look how much shit has been done under Christianity.
Yeah.
You know, like a therapist or like it's the religion hid it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But them being a sick person, I don't think that has to do with the religion itself. It's just she was a sick person no matter what religion that she was a part of.
Yeah.
But the problem with the religion comes in, they were sending the people to her.
Yeah.
I mean, because there are good Mormon people out there. You know, I mean, my neighbors are Mormon and they're good people. They're very good people. They've helped us out a lot. So it's not the actual them being Mormon. It's just that Mormon church sent those people to Hildebrandt.
Yeah, the religion was the gateway.
Yeah. It was.
Well, I wonder if
gateway.
there's any therapists out there that the Mormon church is like specifically sending people to for help with their kids because they know that they're going to tell them. Like, it just makes you wonder, like, why she even brought that up. Like, and why did she feel okay with just showing everybody her doing this? It makes you
because she was a sick person. I think she was just evil. She was just a bad person.
Yeah, I feel like somebody was validating all this to her. Like Eva said, like, why was she just posting this stuff like it was normal? Like,
because she didn't.
Was
care.
it just her and her husband validating each other?
Yes, I think it was, and I think that
that
she just flat out didn't think what she was doing was wrong.
Yeah, and that's just so, like, how are you that disconnected at that age?
Because I think she literally had a problem. She was probably a bad egg. I hate to say it, but she was probably just a bad egg.
Yeah.
But this sort of
wonder
stuff
how she was raised.
I was going to say, would this sort of stuff be like, you know, like maybe from experience that she experienced growing up, and so she thought that it's just how you discipline your kids? Like,
I mean, it could have been that, or it could have been she was just so disconnected with everybody. I mean, I hate to put it like that, but she could have been like a sociopath.
Yeah.
They need to study her more. We need like a full documentary on HBO or whatever.
Or something. I want to know. Yeah. That's a great question. How did she grow up?
Yeah.
You know? How did she grow up? We don't know.
Yeah, some weird validation came in that made her feel like she could just post all that.
Yeah. It was
or
either
she was just crazy.
It was one or two. It was either she was raised like that, or she could have just been a bad egg and something.
Yeah.
She had some kind of mental block thinking that shit was okay.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Control at least part of the narrative that the public will know.
She will not have every detail of everything the state has found and alleged and all of the documentation that they've gathered become public information. She is getting to, one would hope, protect her children so they're not testifying. And she got 2 charges dropped, and this does not become public.
Now, you might be wondering what stipulated factual basis means and why it suddenly leads to a bit of a pandemonium in the court. According to Emily,
I'll be interested to see if any of this gets read into the record, but a stipulated factual basis means that she is agreeing to the truth of the facts of what happened. We saw Creighton Waters and the Murdaugh plea go on at length about the factual basis. That is in the written agreement that has been signed that the court has. So there are agreed upon facts where she is not just pleading guilty to the charges, but admitting the underlying facts of what happened.
So no more allegedly in here, okay? I did the allegedly dance and now I can just say it now. Ruby Franke is guilty. She did it. We all saw it early. We saw the warning
Yep.
signs and have been seeing it for years, but now she has admitted to it wholeheartedly. And whatever happens from here, the single most important aspect of the story can finally begin: the healing process for everybody that has been harmed directly or indirectly by Ruby Franke.
Hi, good evening. I've reached out to a number of Ruby Franke's closest family members after giving them some space at the courthouse yesterday to process what took place. I heard from Ruby's sister-in-law. Part of the statement shared with me from Jennifer Franke reads, "Yesterday was a very hard day for my husband and I. We were a mixed bag of emotions as we watched our sister-in-law, Ruby Franke, stand before the court to plead guilty to what happened to her children. Aaron and I are absolutely heartbroken at what we know happened to the children. We hope that those children will know that they are not alone. And while sorry isn't enough for all you've been through, you do have family close by who love you and know that none of what happened to you was your fault."
Oh, jeez.
On December 27th, 2023, Jodi Hildebrandt entered a courtroom in St. George, Utah for a waiver hearing on her own charges. Unlike Ruby, Jodi entered the room with a much more bleak emotional state and what looked like maybe some tears running down her face. And to nobody's surprise, this happened.
Mr. Terry Pierce, you have just handed the court a signed plea agreement.
That is correct, Your Honor. With respect to the waiver of Ms. Hildebrandt, we have had discussions. She fully understands the purpose of a preliminary hearing, what the burden of proof would be, and that she has the right to a preliminary hearing, but in conjunction with the entry of her plea today, we waive the preliminary hearing.
Like Ruby, Jodi also took a plea deal with language and terms nearly identical to the one that Ruby signed. Jodi, like Ruby, pleaded guilty to 4 counts and had 2 charges dropped against her. Now, much like Ruby's charges, I won't read the specifics of what Jodi pleaded guilty to, but there are a few specific deviations, with one of them mentioning that Jodi forced one of the victims to jump into a cactus multiple times. Ordinarily, I'd make a passing remark.
What? Are you kidding me?
Wow.
I hate it here.
Oh my god.
I hate it here. I hate it. I hate all of it. I hate all of it. Like, I get them not going to trial. It makes it where the kids don't have to speak against them, you know, and like retry. I get all that. But if they don't get maximum for each one, it is going to be so disappointing.
You know, why can't we do something like a therapist ask these kids these questions, like, because they're obviously going to be asking the kids questions anyway, record their answers, and then just like have the therapist speak on their behalf for these questions or something. Yeah. I hate the whole plea deal thing. Like, even I understand it's better for the children, but there should be some other way around that to where she still has to stay in trial.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. There's got to be some way around it, because this right here, I'm sorry. I want jurors to hear what they did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want them to hear what their kids have gone through back at them.
Yep.
And let's see if they think that's okay for anyone.
Yep.
Like, the cactus thing? Are you kidding me? Someone else's children you told to repeatedly jump into a cactus? Like,
that's gross. That's so sick.
Yeah, you have to be so sick to even think of that.
That's sick.
Like,
oh God. Oh, I hate it here. All right, I'm gonna press play. We're almost done.
Yeah.
Mark about how there's a special place in hell for certain people. But honestly, I don't even think hell would take her, okay? But that ain't none of my business. If there was ever any doubt that Ruby and Jodi were disgusting, Jodi forcing someone to do this underscores immediately not only how awful this was, but also how it served absolutely no fucking purpose either. What is the purpose of doing it? Why?
Yeah.
This goes far beyond the questionable parenting in YouTube videos into highly, let's be real, sociopathic looking behavior. Another word I don't use lightly. So with Ruby and Jodi both pleading guilty, what does this mean? Well, it means, again, no trial. Period. Not for Ruby, not for Jodi, which again spares the family any courtroom trauma. That's a very good thing in my opinion. That also means that the sentencing could potentially be rather firm for both Ruby and Jodi, given the severity of what they both admitted to doing. However, we won't know for sure until February 20th, the sentencing date for both Ruby and Jodi, just how severe the punishment is going to be. And honestly, I'm not holding my breath, because I just kind of feel like if I do, and then it becomes like, it winds up being a much lesser sentence, I don't want to be any more angry than I already am about this case. What we do know for sure is that in the case of Ruby Franke and Jodi Hildebrandt, it's no longer alleged. Both of these women are criminals.
Oh yeah, we can flat out say it now. We can flat out say that's absolutely what they did. We don't have to use that language. True.
We'll say it together.
And for
Guilty.
Guilty.
So guilty.
Once justice of some sort will be served against them. But you know what? Don't let me be the one to only speak about what this all means in this doc. Here is a clip from Jodi's nibbling, who was also harmed by Jodi in a similar manner years ago when they were younger, and what this guilty plea means to them.
It's been quite a journey on my end of processing and reprocessing everything that's been going on. The day that it happened, I was surprisingly really angry. I didn't expect to feel so much anger kind of come up in that experience. I think part of it was when her lawyer came out and gave just the most ridiculous comment to the press about how Jodi is just, she pled guilty because she's just trying to, take accountability for her actions, and she just really cares about the kids healing and all of this garbage, just complete trash. That was pretty enraging. Like, it's so obviously a manipulation tactic to save face. Slowly throughout the day, a lot of this weight just like slowly kind of lifted off my shoulders, and a lot of this subconscious fear that somehow she was going to be able to kind of wiggle her way out of any accountability slowly lifted.
Jesse and everyone involved, the family, I truly hope for yours and all of the victims' healing, the family's healing, that both Ruby and Jodi receive as close to the maximum sentence as possible, and that the—
Oh God, I hope so. I hope. Oh my God. Can you imagine the anger if they only get 1 year per count?
Tell me about it. So maximum is 15 years per count. They've got 4 counts, so what, 60 years?
Yeah.
60
Well,
years
she
max.
deserves even more than that, but she deserves that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And it's consecutive. Again, consecutive.
Yeah.
The weight of what you have survived continues to lift away from you, and that you can finally find healing when you're ready. This was not your fault. You didn't deserve this. None of you did. And I hope peace comes soon, sooner than later for you all.
Yeah, so I was able to speak to the DA a little bit that evening, and he informed me that the likelihood of her getting maximum sentencing is incredibly high, that she's most likely going to be getting the 60 years.
Good.
As always, please excuse the brief tone shift, a little bit of a 2024 kitty cleanser to lighten the—
Oh my God, they're cute. Thank you for putting the kitty cats.
mood with all of this heaviness. The babies are having a good start to the year. They're sleeping a little bit. They're getting a little bit more lazy, okay? I've been fostering them. Let's be real, okay? They're with me at this point. I still got 4 of them. 2 of the babies got adopted. Mama Bill was adopted, and I still got 4 of the babies. Happy New Year once again. I wish you all of the greatest just healing and health and wellness of the mind and of your body, and just the start or the continuation of the things that you are passionate about, the attaining of the dreams, the goals that you have for yourself, for your loved ones, for your family, for your friends, that you can be more connected within yourself, within your communities, and that you have joy, even just a little bit on a daily basis. And even if that feels impossible, we'll start off on a monthly, a little bit of joy at least once a month, then we'll get it down to once a week, and then we'll get it down to daily. And I wish that for all of you, and I know that you can have that. You are valid, you are wonderful. Okay, be sure to grab your pieces from the—
Okay, love some swoop. Oh wait, are we done, or do we do the final? Does she have a final?
First time we've ever covered allegations of harm, misconduct, or anything really where actual legal justice is being served. Now, as I mentioned before, Brittany Dawn came close with her $400,000 payout to the state of Texas, but this is, for once, an acknowledgement by the legal system of a family channel doing something horrendous and being held accountable to the fullest extent possible. No matter how sentencing goes, this isn't the end, but I think it's safe to say that in the bigger picture beyond this case, this could be the beginning of a very long road towards something positive. The societal realization that family vlogging very often leads to not only exploitation, but often harm, despite the coverage done by people like myself or Mormon Stories podcast, Jordan and McKay, Radiant Brit, Markey, and the countless others who are blowing the whistle on family channels to try and raise awareness. It shouldn't have to take a child crawling out of a window for change to happen. It shouldn't have even taken the first time anybody noticed something was wrong with how Ruby and Kevin Franke raised their kids to put a stop to this before the worst of it even started. Now, in theory, could there be an ethical way of being a family vlogger? Yes, I have to believe that there's got to be somebody out there doing it right, where one vlogs but doesn't showcase their kids as the stars and central focus.
What are you doing? I think there is a way to do it and to do it ethically. I do. I honestly do. I don't think that all of them are bad. I can't believe that. okay?
Yeah.
But I think it's also a very easy way to, I mean, you can even exploit your child and not even realize you're doing it, okay? And then you have the people who are purposely exploiting their child, okay? Those people, absolutely evil, no, fuck off, okay?
Yeah, putting them front and center for everything. And
right.
Like, it's like, no, thank you.
Yeah. But but I'm sure there is an ethical way of doing it. And I'm sure there's good people out there who just want to just share what their family is doing. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, there's got to be a line there. And I think it's hard to find that line because sometimes the ones that are exploiting makes it look like they're being ethical and they're not.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
Ugh. That's where things really start seeming to go haywire. You know, I mean, they can't consent to being shown on camera anyways, and they don't even get properly paid for their daily labor of these things. You know, the actual act of vlogging your experience as a parent can, in fact, be incredibly helpful. And
fun fact, they don't even get paid with the, you know how, like, Sister Wives, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
None of those kids get paid.
That's crazy.
All these years that Sister Wives was on the air, none of those kids got paid, and none of the kids currently get paid. None of them. That's why you don't see a lot of them on camera anymore, because they're like, fuck this, I'm not doing this unless I get paid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yep.
And relatable to millions of parents out there. Sharing a few innocent moments here and there. I don't know, like the blowing out of birthday candles, fine. Like there are boundaries with everything. It's not a black and white, it's a gray, right? I just don't know what the perfect gray is. But you know, I'm fairly certainly some of you could even recommend a few family vloggers who are doing it right in the comments, and I would love to hear about them because honestly, I'm ready to throw the whole genre in the trash. But I believe it's a thin line between innocent vlogging and exploitation, and as we've
exactly, I think there is a thin line. It's hard to figure out which ones. So it's probably going to, you know what's probably going to end up happening? They're probably going to ban it completely.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, even just showing your children on your channel, number one, I think should be not a thing.
I mean, if that ends up happening, I feel like that's not really that bad of a thing. Because like she said, kids can't consent. And a lot of these parents do put their kids like bad moments, like the kids getting in trouble for something, like things that later could really embarrass them or get thrown back up. And it's like, why do that to your own kid?
Yeah, true that.
Seen with countless family channels, turning your kids into content, and especially your kids' pain, is a easy, tried and true method for people to fall
there you go, Bunny.
into,
there you
even
go.
if their original intentions were harmless. Not every family channel that's been accused of misconduct started off that way, but as is often the case with some creators, when you start getting more clicks, likes, attention, engagement, money, you filmed the kids, and then all the people are like, "Oh, we want more of this," then you might feel pressure to do whatever it was to keep that up. And for family channels, that engagement sadly comes at the cost of those who can't do anything to defend themselves. And sadder still, we're continually left with platforms that do not place secure enough regulations to protect those individuals. If there was a separate, stricter criteria for family channels, perhaps it would deter the bad actors from even starting in the first place. So that leaves me with the ultimate question. If family channels could find a way to lean away from exploitation and more into making the vlogger and their insights the center of the channel, and if the kids can just be, kept safe, can family channels find a healthy way to exist in 2024 and beyond? I don't know, but it sounds like a much more promising future for the kids, and isn't that what we all should want? Well, here's hoping. Stay ready, stay petty, class dismissed. Swoop!
Boom.
Swoop.
Swoop, there it is.
Yeah. Well, to be continued, 20th of Feb is the sentencing date, so...
Yeah. I'm worried. I'm not gonna lie. I'm worried about that sentencing.
Yeah. I feel like there's a lot that could go wrong.
Exactly. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. But it was a great video by Swoop. Has some stuff in there that I didn't know. So
yeah.
Swoop did an amazing job as always. So any last thoughts about the Ruby Franke, Jodi Hildebrandt situation?
Yeah, hate it. And we're not quite finished yet either. Like it's still going, and that's what amazes me is after all these years, it's only come to like now into those greatest like lengths of those kids getting harmed and going to a neighbor. Did they finally get caught and doing this sort of stuff? So I really hope for maximum. I really hope they get the 60 years.
I mean, it's sad, but it was an act of desperation that finally got her caught.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? So, all right. Well, everybody, thank you for watching. This was the 46th episode of the broadcast. 46 question mark. I think I'm right.
Yep.
Okay. Yay. Eva said yes. So thank you for watching the 46th episode. And ladies, go ahead and say goodbye to everybody.
Goodbye, everybody.
All right. Peace out. See you next time. Oh. I didn't know they were doing that. I'm going to tell you to fuck off.